Hello everyone, and welcome to this Uska News Water News video podcast. In November 2016, the first Global Water Stewardship Forum met in Scotland, the Hydro Nation, convened by the Alliance for Water Stewardship. Experts from more than 20 countries met in sunny Edinburgh for 2 full days with representatives from governments, large and small corporations, NGOs, finance and civil society. The forum was designed to advance global understanding and impacts of water stewardship and contribute to the further development of the global AWS Water Stewardship Standard. Uska News reported on the forum, and I had an opportunity to speak to several key participants. Thank you for joining us, Adrian Sym. Can you take a moment to speak to the viewers of this piece about who are you and what brings you to this gathering this week?
Thank you, David. My name is Adrian Sym and I'm Chief Executive of AWS, and as we are the hosts of this Global Water Stewardship Forum, I'm very obviously happy to be here as much as a part of the audience, really, because we've got a very engaged group of partners and members here this week, and I'm enjoying hearing their water stewardship stories and looking forward to using the information that I've heard to help us further develop our network.
And this is the inaugural Global Water Stewardship Forum. Many of our viewers will be familiar with the history and indeed our stakeholders, some will not. Perhaps you could give us a very short potted history of how the organisation has got to this milestone.
Sure. So we consider ourselves still a relatively young organisation, though we have been around for officially first incorporated in 2009. The early years of AWS were spent first of all on understanding what water stewardship could be about, bringing partners into the water stewardship space, and then on developing the International Water Stewardship Standard, the AWS standard, which is the centrepiece from a technical perspective of our work. And the process to develop that standard took 4 years, from 2010 to 2014. It involved engagement with stakeholders around the world. It was developed on our behalf by 15 individuals who were appointed to ensure a balanced regional and sectoral perspective into the standard development process. Since the launch of the standard in 2014, our focus has been around building the other elements of the system, whether it's certification system, accreditation program for specialist service providers, working with local partners, and more recently building our membership. And it's that membership which provides the multi-stakeholder governance of the AWS system, which is critical for its credibility.
And the event's being held in Edinburgh, Scotland?
It is, yes, and as a Scot, I'm very happy that our first event is held here. We are a Scottish incorporated organisation, so it's nice to be here and supported by the Scottish Government through the Hydro Nation programme, which is nice to see. It's also a good opportunity for us to connect more strongly than we've been able to so far with Scottish stakeholders, whether that's from the non-profit sector, whether it's Scottish businesses, or also the public sector in Scotland, which are showing at different levels, showing a lot of interest in AWS and AWS standard, and supporting work in Scotland, which is, I guess, not top of everyone's lists of water-stressed countries, but nevertheless facing a lot of challenges that we feel that the AWS standard can help with.
As we speak today, we're 3/4 of the way through the week's programme. What have been your highlights so far?
Highlights for me, David, are first and foremost the group we've assembled here. That's really testament to the endorsement of what we're trying to do here. We've got, I think, a very nice mix of members from different sectors, from different parts of the world, but also participants who are not yet members, but who are watching closely, engaged with what we're doing, and have very important contributions to make. That's been, the first and most important thing from my perspective. It's a milestone for us to be able to put on an event like this with such a diverse and influential group. So the theme of the event is linked directly to our current strategic priorities about building participation, building ownership in AWS, while also maintaining credibility. So I think we've taken great strides here this week in particularly in enhancing the sense of ownership in AWS. So that's been something I take a lot of satisfaction from so far. Other elements that I think we've made progress with are around the ability of water stewardship and AWS to create more coherence in a variety of different areas. Water is of course the first one. There's a lot of different water initiatives, a lot of initiatives that are part of the water stewardship landscape. And we feel we've got a strong role to play in creating more coherence in that space. That comes partly through the standard, which accommodates different other initiatives, different tools, whether that's risk assessment, whether it's accounting, whether it's reporting tools. But also our organisation, our membership is inherently collaborative effort. AWS is the Alliance for Water Stewardship, and its emphasis is very much on the collaboration. But it's not just water specific where that coherence is important. We've also had sessions here this week on how we can work more closely with other standard systems, and very important conversations led by our partners, led by our members from the Better Cotton Initiative and Aquaculture Stewardship Council, which also involved the Gulf Environment Organisation, also based here in Scotland. So it shows you the range of different, where water touches. It touches on all of us in many, many different ways, and creating more coherence in initiatives trying to promote sustainability, including natural capital, for example. Through the Scottish Forum on Natural Capital, we're present here convening a session. So we touch on a whole range of things, and it's really nice to see the energy behind that and an appreciation of what the potential of AWS to build more coherence on a whole different range of topics.
And this week, congratulations on the milestone. What do you think are the next key milestones that the water stewardship family should be striving towards?
Well, this event is timed to help us develop our strategy going forward. It's also going to be followed up by the first meeting of our members tomorrow, and so I'll be taking from this a lot of lessons to inform where we focus, where we put our energy, where we put our resources going forward. I think it's safe to say that there's two key elements of that. One is building and strengthening local water stewardship networks. So water stewardship happens at a local level. It's a location-based thing, and it needs to make a difference at a local level. And that local is different wherever you go. And there's a need to take our globally consistent standard, and not to localize the standard, but to provide the local resources that are needed for that standard to be effectively applied and achieve the maximum impact. And by that I mean places for local stakeholders to engage and participate. It means information, data to help to support the implementation, and that needs to be localized more and more and more over time. And also the expertise to support the implementation, whether that's consultants, whether it's auditors, whether it's trainers, who really know the situation in any given context. And the more that is localized, the more effective water stewardship is going to be. So that strengthening of local networks is one key aspect, but the other is to make sure we build on the momentum that is present here this week to strengthen the global network as well, and to make sure that there's a direct connection between the local and the international. So our job is to learn from, our job at an international level is to learn from what's happening locally and make sure that's factored in to the globally relevant strategies and processes that I'm tasked with leading. I'm just, to be honest, delighted to have been able to welcome everyone to Scotland, and with the support of, as I mentioned before, the Scottish Government through the Hydronation Programme, but also GIZ, German Development Organisation, who've helped us put on this event. And to be able to welcome people to Scotland in beautiful sunny weather, which is, as the Cabinet Secretary told us yesterday, is apparently unusual. So that's been a pleasant surprise. I'm very keen that this becomes an annual event and is also complemented by more local events. So it's been a great start. It's a great milestone for us and something on which we can build into the future. And I look forward to doing this again in 12 months' time.